Okay, so when you get to level 56, you've got this quest available called No Longer a Collectible. Now this really kind of kicks off with gathering, particularly the Botanist in Heavensward. It's very, very good. It levels up very quick. You can also make a lot of money from it, from a lot of things you're collecting whilst you're actually leveling up anyway. But for the collectibles, this is where it all kicks off. So you want to come down to more donor. You can see I'm stood right next to where all the other stuff is here, right in the middle. You got this guy here, dressed rather kind of strangely. If it's a woman, I'm scared. It is a woman, isn't it? It's a woman bloke. Lie de loner. Now, that's going to be where you get your quest from, and there are going to be other quests available at a higher level as well. You can see that one's level 60. Once you've got that quest, then this is where everything kicks off, and I'll show you handing in a couple of things in a second. In your actions and traits, so if you look at your actions, you've got a whole load of new actions here. The Collector's Glove is the most important one. Discerning Eye and Methodical Appraisal are just the three that make it very easy and simple to understand to actually do the collectibles. So you really want to map those three. If you want to muck around with the other ones, it's up to you. But this is just the easiest way to do it to begin with. I've just mapped them on the left hand side, away from the stuff I normally do. It's obviously on a PC it'll be different, but it just makes it quite easy to have the three next to each other. Collector's Glove, Discerning Eye, Methodical Appraisal. So I'll just show you handing in a couple of things, then after we've done that we'll actually go off and do a couple of the collections in different places and show you how it actually fits into place and the little rotation and the way that it's done. Okay, so what you do is walk up to the Collectible Appraisal. Now if you look at it, you'll see a little icons at the top for all the different gathering and crafting. You scroll through the list, it's going to show you what's available for your your current level. You can see that the Cortham tea leaves, level 53. They're quite easy to do. They're in the first area, Western Corthos. So you just go in, you hand those in, gives you the XP. Now these are items of stack 1 when you get a collectible, unlike the other stacks that go to 99. So you can see the old world figs and the collectability value on that. It's just basically the higher the quality. The collectability just means the higher the quality. That's low level, that's only 240, and that's in the Dravanian Forelands, the second map you enter. See me handing those in, and get the XP for those as well. Now these come around twice a day, 2 AM, 2 PM, and the tea leaves 10 PM, 10 AM. So you can do that 4 times a day. So you can see the amount of XP you can do that by just keeping them in the rotations is pretty cool. Now in between that you could go off and do a couple of other normal nodes. And whilst you're collecting those other normal nodes you get loads of XP, and you can see there, the higher the quality the more XP you get, and I'm getting 130,000 from the Cortham tea leaves. That's for 2. Now you can actually collect 3 for 100,000 each, which gives you more XP. Luckily I got 72,000 for the figs, times 3, that was pretty cool. Now the ethereal reduction, which is to do with the ephemeral nodes, I'll show you right at the very end of the video after doing the collecting, so it's done in exactly the same process. All you do is you collect an item and you use ethereal reduction instead of handing it in as a collectible. Now, all this is going to do is going to give you some items. It's like desynthesis. So you basically desynth an item, and you can see there it's giving me a load of wind crystals. Now the higher the item, the higher the levels, you're going to start getting clusters and all kinds of other stuff. So we'll look at that a little bit later. Right, so the first collecting node we're going to get availability to really is the one in Western Corthos. Now this is going to be for the Cortham tea leaves. So once you get to the Aetheryte, what you want to be doing is looking on your map, and just up here where the bridge is, it's going to appear just on the right hand side of that bridge. So if we put a marker there, all we've got to do, I always do that, get off it and then fly. So all we want to do is fly towards that and get there for 10. You got 10 AM, 10 PM. Most of these come around twice a day, or twice an Eorzean 24-hour day. Now, most of this gathering malarkey is not really worth doing until you can fly in an area. If you can't fly in an area, I just wouldn't bother. With the gatherer, you can actually use a node right down near where the aetherite is to do a little bit of early leveling up and a few levies. But once you start actually doing proper gathering and mining and stuff like that, I really wouldn't bother until you can fly in one particular map. Really is a pain otherwise. It's the way the nodes are split up, the way the things, the enemies are. If you can't fly, it does make it pretty hard. Some of the maps are hard to traverse. The new maps, they were built for flying. So what we're going to do now is wait till 10 o'clock. Take that off the map. As you can see here, you quite often get fates, and there's a lot of enemies around where the nodes are going to be. They're usually these red bushes. So it's going to be coming up any second. Now again, make sure you check. At the top of the screen there, you'll see, you've got the glove come on, collector's glove come on and off. Make sure it's on. Make sure you've got your food and your GP up to 600. So once that node appears, make sure you've got your GP on 600 if you really want to try it best. So you can see here what I mean about the enemy and not being able to fly. It's just much easier once you see the node, instead of running around during the middle of the enemy. There's our node. So we go down there. So my GP's on 600. I've got my glove on. Now I know that this is slot 7. So what we'll do is we'll go straight onto it. And there's a process of events that's going to take place. So open it as normal. Go to slot 7 for the Corth and tea leaves. I know that's slot 7. So I'll click on it once. That appears. Now as long as you've got your glove on, it will then open up the chain of events to collect it. So again, click on it. That clicks on it and it opens up this little screen. Now this is where we're going to be using our new skills. So if I look at the skills that I've mapped, we've got the little alien head there, discerning eye. So that's going to boost it by 50%. So I'll click on that. And then I'm going to use the methodical appraisal, which uses a gathering attempt. So one gathering attempt and you'll see the rarity of the item go up. So we do it again, discerning eye. That raises its quality. Methodical appraisal. You can see again the rarity's gone up and the wear's gone up to 20 out of 30. So I've still got one more attempt, which is why you need that 600. Does another one. Now you can see that the rarity has gone up to 516 with 30 out of 30. Don't go above 30 or it fails, or you just won't be able to use it. Now you go down, click on the down on the controller, it'll be different with the PC, to the collect button. Click on collect. Now this uses a gathering attempt. So yes, we want it. You can see there it's got a collectability of 523, which is nice and high. You obtain a basket of Corth and tea leaves. Collect again, because we've still got one attempt left. You can see the white bar at the top. And we click that one. Now you can see that everything's going to finish automatically on its own end of node. Now if you look in the backpack, inventory, you can see here you've got the Corth and tea leaves, but it's got that little square icon on the right hand side of it. Yeah, probably better there. You can just see that little square icon. That means it's a collectible item, and they are individual stacks, not like what you've got down here, the Corth and tea leaves. That's a normal collecting stack. And you can see that they're just the normal, doesn't have that little square next to it. So what we want to do is go back to Mordona, go to Revenant's Toll, and hand it in like I showed you at the beginning. You just go straight up to the collector's appraisal and get your XP. Once you've actually worked out the Eorzean 24-hour cycle, what nodes you're going to go to and collect normal, what nodes you're going to do collectibles, and the ephemeral nodes. And once you've actually figured that out and you get your rotation right, the amount of XP you can do this is just ridiculous. You can see I'm already at level 58. Since yesterday I've got over 1,000 XP. 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 1,000 way over 5 million XP, and I was mucking around a lot of the time doing story quests, doing some leather making stuff. It's so cool to level up a gatherer. So you go up to the collectible appraisal, double click on him. You can see here again it's highlighted our Corthan tea leaves. Minimum collectability is 400. You can see we've got 2 of them, so I click on it, highlight it in our inventory, hand it in. 130,000 XP. Click on that. 130,000 XP. So you can see how quick that is. I mean, you've only got to do this a couple of times in a cycle for 400,000 XP, plus the figs, which are easy because they're minimum of 240. So the amount of XP you can actually get just by fitting this into a normal daily cycle, it's incredibly easy. Now you can see here we're coming up to midnight. The next one's going to be 2 AM figs. So what we do is teleport to our next area, which is going to be Tailfeather, Dravanian Forelands. So we'll go there and we'll do the figs next. But this is the easiest one to get, because it's only got a minimum collectability of 240. Now you can actually get 3 of these with the level of gathering and stuff I've got now. So we'll show you how to get 3 instead of the 2 that we got there. So now we're in the Dravanian Forelands. We'll go up to where we're going to get the figs. Now if you look at your map where we start, what you want to do is come up to this north area, just up here. Now what I normally do is, if you look on the map, if you orientate yourself to the northwest, directly to the northwest, go straight up into the tree line, start heading to the northwest. Now when you get up here, you can see this row of trees. If you look directly up, you've got that blue thing up in the sky, big crystal thing, blah blah blah. If you head down to the right hand side of it, now you can just see at the very end of the tree line there's a tree on its own, nothing further left of it. There's that one tree. If you head towards that tree, easy one to find. As you're coming down towards the tree, it's going to be just down in this little area here. So what you normally do is you find people standing around on top of these stacks just around here, and it's going to be down here. Problem with this is there's always a brown bear lurking around, and they quite often get a fate right in this area as well, as they always do for gatherers. So all you want to do is get down and just kind of get yourself ready and prepared. Keep yourself away from the enemy, obviously. Now just remember again, make sure that you've got your glove on. So you see the icon at the top of the screen, the blue glove. Make sure that's on if you're collecting, and not on when you're gathering. Make sure you got your food. I've got plenty of time for my food before that runs out. Make sure your GP gets up to 600. Just kind of get prepared and ready. There's nothing worse than when you come up to do a collecting node and you haven't got your glove on, you haven't got the food on, you haven't got everything right, and you just complete waste of time. So just make sure you get your kind of your cycle right, your icons right. Right, okay, so we're coming up to 2 o'clock. You can see I've got a nice shiny axe on my back there. Got to make sure that you remember GP 600 and you've got your glove on. Make sure that your collector's glove is on. So there's our bear right next to our unspoiled patch. I don't want to get hassled with him, doesn't matter what level I am. So I know that this is the figs and it's slot 2. And we're going to do 3 collects on this one. So we go to slot 2. Click on it to open it. Okay, there's our fig. So click on it to bring up that menu. Now what we're going to do is the alien's head and methodical appraisal. Alien's head, methodical appraisal. Now you can see that the rarity is 344. Now the minimum of this was 240. So what you can do is you can actually go into collecting this now, which will give us another attempt. So every time you do an appraisal it uses an attempt. So you look at the white bar at the top, That's still given us 3 attempts. So, collect. 347 collectability, so that's above the level that we needed. So yes, we can click on that. Collect again. That uses another attempt. Collect that. Collectability is 347. And we've got one more attempt left. So that's our 3rd attempt on this one. And click yes. So we've now got 3. Look in the backpack. We've now got 3 instead of 2. So as long as you get that that rarity value up above what the minimum hand is, or the minimum hand in value is, then that allows you to collect. So as long as you don't allow the wear to go above 30, that's your maximum. You don't want to go above that. As long as you keep it below it, you can still collect it. Now we'll look at the things that are available to collect. Now obviously, it's no. I mean, you can only get this at level 56 anyway, but there's no point in doing this or trying to get high level stuff and scripts until you get to a much higher level. There's just no point. The point of doing this at the moment really is just to collect them, hand them in for XP during a daily rotation. So we go up to our collectible appraisal. There's Jacobo handing something in. So we'll click on our thing here. Now you can see we've got our old world fig. So go to hand one of those in. You have to remember that we only did 2 attempts there and the rarity value was less, but you can still see when we hand that in, that's given us 60,000. So 3 of those is going to give us 180,000 compared to 2 of them, which was giving us 140,000. So it's actually worth doing the 3 if you can, just to get that extra little bit of XP. Now you can see on the list here you've got a couple of different ones. Unfortunately some of them are only available in the Dravanian hinterlands, the Sea of Clouds or the Churning Mists. And as I said, I mean, if you can't access it by flying, some of the newer maps, if you haven't unlocked them and you haven't unlocked flying, don't bother. Just keep with Western Korthos and Dravanian Forelands. They're the 2 that you first do, and it's much easier to access. But you can see here on the level of them, that's level 58, that's level 57, that's level 53. So you can see the level 53 is easily accessible. The collectible value is only 400, so that's quite easy to get 2 of those. And the old world figs only being 240. That's the easiest one to do to begin with. And there's no problem in getting 3 of those to hand in like we just did. Okay, so when it comes to the ephemeral nodes, what you're going to notice is it's exactly the same principle as the collectibles. It's just a slightly different thing. So you go around it in exactly the same way as you would doing if you were doing a collectible item. But what you'll get is you get a normal set of nodes. You can see here, lush vegetation patch. Now what you do is you'll get a time zone where one of these is going to turn into an ephemeral node. Now with all the other nodes it's the same. As you can see when I'm just flying around in the top right hand corner on the map, you can see all the other ones appearing. Now there's a set of 6 that are all spread out in like 2, 2 and 2, although sometimes they're pretty close together. Now one of these at 8 AM will then turn into an ephemeral node. So I'll wait here till 8 AM. And you can see the importance of being able to fly as well, because running around here doing it without a flight pain. So we'll just wait till 8 o'clock and then I'll show the ephemeral node. Okay, so we're now at 8 AM, so one of these nodes should have turned into an ephemeral node. Now you'll notice on the minimap it will change. So we'll just fly across these. It's turning dark. That's a lush vegetation patch. Ah, right, there we go. Look at the minimap now. You can see the little blue lush vegetation patches. One of them's got a white line through it. Now this is the same as the unspoiled nodes. So you can see here somebody else already here. So that one's got a white one on it. You can see above there it says ephemeral lush vegetation patch. So the same as gathering a collectible, make sure that you've got your glove on. Make sure you've got your GP up and you know which one it's going to be. I think this one comes up automatically. Okay, well that one's because I'm now level 58. This one is level 56. So exactly the same principle. Click on it once, it opens it up. So we want to do discerning eye. I call it alien head. Do an alien head. Use a methodical appraisal. Alien head. Methodical appraisal. Alien head. Methodical appraisal. Now that's built my rarity up to 513, which is as high as it's going to get. I want it to be as high as I can for the ephemeral node. Purely because when you break it down, I think the higher it's going to be, and the higher the level of the items that you collect, the better the things you're going to get. Now if you look in my inventory, it's going to be slightly different to the other ones. Now this one's called granular clay. And you can see on the left hand side where it says binding, that item is bound to me, so I can't do anything with it. You see it says collectability 517, but just below that you can see it says reducible. Yes, Botanist level 56. Unsellable. So this is what we did at the beginning. Click on it, ethereal reduction, and it says anomaly rate 6 out of 8. I can only assume that the higher the gathering and everything, you know, your perception, maybe the higher that's going to be, and the cost, obviously the higher the purity of the item, the more stuff you'll get from it, the better things you'll get from them. So you just click on reduce. It's exactly the same as we did earlier. So I've only got 10 earth crystals that time, and 2 of these Dusk-born ether sands. I don't know if they're any good or not. I'll have a look. So there we go. That's the ephemeral nodes. That's the collectible nodes. It's the way of gathering and collecting. Once you get to level 56, it's easy to start with these things that you've mapped. I just found that this was the easiest way of doing it, by using, you know, the collector's glove, discerning eye to improve the next item by 50%. Methodical appraisal. It just uses one gathering attempt. It increases the wear by 10, increases the item rarity perception by 1. That was just the easiest way of doing it. Once you've leveled up and you've started mucking around with them, then there's different things to play around with, and you'll learn how to do it all. So it's simple when you know how. It's just a few little things that you've got to do right. And there you go. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers.